A former teacher accused of sexually assaulting a little boy at school was back in court today. Prosecutors claim that Deontay Taylor not only molested the child, but also hired someone to kill his young victim and the boy's family.
Tonight, the I-Team's PJ Rendawa sits down for an exclusive interview with the man allegedly hired to do that hit. PJ.
Mike and Ann, our investigation sounds more like a Hollywood movie than real life. In the starring role, a homeless father of 10 who was just desperate enough to take the job. Jail isn't a place anyone wants to be, John White included.
Well, they put murderers in with traffic tickets. Wherever they have room, they stick you.
He's not a career criminal, but no Boy Scout either. On his record, a string of offenses. A 2014 burglary tops the list.
I haven't had much. I'm not, no big crimes or anything.
But when White found himself behind bars on a probation violation in February, the big crime found him.
And he called me to the rec yard and said, hey, I got something I need you to do for me. I want to know if you will take a hit.
White says the man making that deadly request was an elementary school teacher named Deontay Taylor. Taylor was in jail charged with molesting a student at Lusher Elementary School. Turns out that little boy was still on Taylor's mind, and as police would soon discover, on his hit list.
And he told me that it was a 10-year-old boy and his mother and grandmother, and I kind of got interested, like, oh, are you serious? You want to hurt a baby? You know
White didn't want to believe Taylor was serious. Then he got the note.
That Saturday, he pushed a note up under my door. It had the victim's name, phone number, address, social security number, driver's license number, everything.
Did he describe what he wanted you to do specifically? How he wanted them killed?
The only specific part he asked was that it looked like an accident, make it look like a carbon monoxide leak, or either start a fire while everybody was asleep and try and put it on the kid playing with matches.
Those are horrific ways to die.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Even though he had 10 kids of his own, White says he agreed to kill the little boy and his family.
So I felt like if I didn't do it, he would have gotten somebody else to do it.
How much was he going to pay you?
It was $20,000.
Did he talk about where he'd get the money?
Well, the school was paying him when he wasn't fired. He was on paid leave.
The I-Team went to the Ferguson Florissant School District for answers. So he was behind bars, accused of molesting the student, and he's still getting a paycheck from the district.
The standard practice is when someone is placed on leave, they're placed on paid administrative leave.
It was money he promised White to do the job. Before he was released, White says Taylor gave him a name and phone number.
He told me that Mike was his ride or die.
According to prosecutors, Taylor's ride or die was this man, 66-year-old Michael Johnson, Taylor's longtime boyfriend.
What I gathered from it, Michael was going to court, and he was describing how the mother and the grandmother looked. This is where I met Michael the first time. He was just saying, I appreciate you doing this because Deontay needs to be home and I want my baby home with me. And he handed me $500. He said, I have to hurry up and get back to the church because I'm the choir coordinator.
White had two choices, take the money and run or sound the alarm. Did you at any point, even consider it?
Never. I got a baby that just turned 10. And that's all that was going through my head.
He turned everything over to investigators. What was their reaction when you told them that?
Well, they said they weren't surprised. They seen everything.
St. Louis County Police took it from there, and prosecutors found enough evidence to charge both Taylor and Johnson with conspiracy to commit murder and witness tampering.
And upon them bringing him in the police station, I think he seen my face. And he goes, it says out loud, oh, he told on me. Amy like, wow, really? You're confessing already?
He confessed.
He confessed.
White admits he could have used the money, but he has no regrets going from potential hitman to, some would say, a hero. Do you feel like you saved their lives?
I do, because they were very serious. Definitely was divine intervention. I have no question about that at all.
Well, John White says he'd like to meet the family he helped save. A victim's advocate working with that family says they're hopeful that can happen in the future. That advocate has also set up a GoFundMe account to help the family pay for moving expenses and counseling for the child victim. You can find a link to that GoFundMe site on our website, ksdk.com. Just look for this story.
Have something you want the I-Team to look into? Email PJ directly at prandawa@ksdk.com or call 314-444-5231.